Hi everyone. I think I was meant to do an assembly this week to just go over some of the things you're going to be needing for your community activity proposal on November the 11th. Unfortunately, I'm not in this week. So all I've done, I'm going to put a series of video lessons on you for you, um, with instructions that I would have given you in the assemblies, and also instructions I would have given to the classes as well. So you can watch these as many times as you like to help you prepare for your community activity proposal. I'll also show you where I've put lots of extra resources and help with regard to your planning, that's going to be coming up soon. So basically what this video will show is it'll go over the actual task itself, what's included, and how it's marked. Okay, so hopefully we'll only be sort of 5 or 6 minutes first of all, just going over this. This is basically the task set by the exam board. This is what you've been given essentially to do your community activity proposal. Now, your community activity you should have or should be discussing this week with your teachers its appropriateness, its complexity, and which section it comes under. Probably most of you are doing the coaching and teaching one as well. The important thing that your teacher will look at will be whether or not the task that you've picked is something that you can plan and organise yourself, not volunteer work. It's really important, okay? On the old Welsh Back, you could just volunteer your time and help out with things. Now this is a project that you put together, that you plan, organise, implement, monitor, and reflect on. Okay, it's a whole different set of skills than just volunteering. Okay, so that's really important. That's why things like paired reading can't be used, because that's not planned and organised by you. That's done by the teachers, and you go along and help out. So that's what we'll be looking at and checking. Okay, that you're doing that, and there's got sufficient complexity. You can't be litter picking or just going on a sponsored walk for one Sunday that's going to take up the hours. Okay, really important. Another important thing they'll be checking is that you cover 30 hours, or your plan will cover 30 hours of implementing. Planning and organising it doesn't count towards the 30 hours. So say you were coaching netball, you spent 2 hours planning and organising an hour lesson, for example, that only counts for 1 hour off the 30. Okay? There is a log that you will need to keep and document what you do in each of those sessions, so we can make sure that you are covering the allotted time. Okay, so there's some of those things. You can discuss that with your teacher if you haven't already, and make sure that the activity you're doing is suitable, okay, for an advanced level project. Okay, so it's level 3, and it needs to be complex for you to gain these marks. So the 3 tasks, excuse me, community activity proposal. This is a written report, a proposal, a piece of work to cover these 5 areas. An audit and development plan of personal skills and attributes. So these will be your skills audits and how you plan to develop them. Okay. Second one is the community that you've chosen, the people you've chosen to work with. That's the community. Okay. Year 7 pupils, year 5 pupils, old people at old people's home, whatever it is. Okay. What are their needs? What do they want? What is the activity, the proposed activity? What's its purpose? What you're aiming to achieve? And how will it benefit that community? Then we've got the whole planning and organising section, an implementation plan which will have aims and objectives, timescales for those aims and objectives, targets which should be SMART, okay, what resources you'll need. If you're working in a team, what responsibilities each of you have, and if you're working on your own, what responsibilities you have, opportunities and risks, so risk management there. And then finally, achievable success criteria with plans for community feedback. So what you'll have after this resource is links to videos describing what we would expect to see from these, with some examples of that. Okay. Then once this is finished, after November the 11th, you've got 30 hours up to the middle of March to complete this time between those few months. So you should do 30 hours of working with your community, which you plan to do that, okay? Obviously, it'll be over a minimum of 4 weeks, okay? Then you'll have to have it signed off by an appropriate person, so a responsible person, to confirm you've done that, with a log and also with evidence of that. This wasn't done particularly well last year, okay? I'll do a separate video and description on what evidence we'd look for here. Then right at the end, you'll be given a 10-minute slot, okay, where you'll come out of lessons and do a presentation with a detailed speaker notes and a PowerPoint or other visual aids, which will evaluate everything that you've done. Okay, so those are the 3 tasks for the Advanced Community Challenge here. Now, how are those assessed and marked? Okay, I'll just zoom this so we can see it a bit better. Okay, there are 3 learning outcomes. LO1 learning outcomes. LO1 is your planning and organizational skills. LO2 is your personal effectiveness. That's all about your skills auditing and developing your skills. And 3 is about the challenge you do itself. Okay? So they're each worth 9 marks and they're banded. So a band 1, planning and organisation evidence, would equate to sort of an E and D grade. Okay? At A level. Band 2, a B and C, and band 3, an A and an A star. When you look across these statements, you'll see sentences, okay, and they generally mean the same thing. There's the first sentence in planning and organising, except that band 1 is just a realistic plan, which covers these things, so not much detail. Band 2, it's got more detail and structure, and band 3, it's extremely comprehensive, it's well structured and effective. Okay, so these are judgments that we will make when allocating bands to each learning outcome before we send your work off. So the proposal itself is always the first sentence. Okay, and I'm just going to stick with band 3 because that's where we should be aiming for. Okay, so band 3, planning and organisation, it means you've got a comprehensive, well structured and effective plan established, which has got appropriate, realistic aims and objectives, has timescales. So if you've done a Gantt chart, okay, I'll have some information on Gantt charts for you, but if you've got that, with activities planned, the resources you need, if you're in a team or you need other people helping you, allocation responsibilities, targets, success criteria essentially, and risks, some bit of risk management. Covering all those comprehensive with a well-structured and effective plan, you can expect to be up in here with LO1. LO2 is your personal effectiveness. Again, the first sentence in there covers the plan that you're going to be writing up, okay, on November the 11th. So a comprehensive, well-structured and effective audit and development plan of personal and or team skills, priorities and goals. Okay, so you should do a few audits. Okay, you analyze those audits, okay, those skills audits, and you extract your strengths and weaknesses. And then when you look at your weaknesses, what do you need to develop and how you will develop those. Okay, using which ones you're going to do first, so prioritizing them, goals, by when will you do them. So you'll have targets for generic skills, things like time management, organization, communication, all those things that skills audits will pull out information for you. But you may also need to develop specific skills for your project that you're doing. So if you were coaching, I don't know, if you were coaching tennis, for example, you may want to work on your coaching skills with regards serving, for example. So you might go and research some other people's lesson plans and some videos on YouTube about how to coach serving, etc. And you can plan to do that, you know, in the time that you allocate to it. Okay, so there'll be specific skills. There's your general skills and specific. Now your audits won't really pick out the specific skills, because I don't know there's an audit on how to coach tennis out there. There may be, but it's doubtful. So the specific skills you probably will have to think of yourself by self-auditing, as opposed to doing the generic ones, if that makes sense, okay? So something like you'd list down the skills that you want to get across in your tennis sessions, as an example, and then you could rate which ones you think were strong, which ones you think were weak, and how you would work on those. Depending on anything else you're doing, if you were doing a neighbourhood project where you were building or constructing something, you may have weaknesses in certain areas that you'll want to work on, okay? It's very unlikely that you're going to be an expert in every single thing that you're going to be coaching and teaching. And if you're teaching, and you're teaching younger pupils, do you know skills and strategies used to keep younger pupils on task and interested, etc.? So there'll be some sort of skill development on how to conduct and do good lessons as well that you should look at. So that's personal effectiveness. So it's all about auditing skills and planning to make your weaknesses better. And the last part is a comprehensive, well-structured and effective community activity proposal, including the purpose and benefits of the activity to the community. So that is the, when you do your activity proposal, this is your LO3, your participation. This is about research and looking into similar projects, about how your work will benefit your community you're working with, what the purpose is, that kind of thing. It's the start of the write-up. To give us a little bit more context for you, in the next video I'll walk you through an example of a good of a band 3 community activity proposal and things that we're looking for. Not a perfect one, because I don't think we had a perfect one last year, but it's pretty close. This comes with a health warning. Do not copy anything from the video that you're going to see, or from any exemplar work you may have looked at. The exemplar work that you've been shown has been with the exam board, and they will be able to compare it using software, and you will be brought up on plagiarism. Okay, so do not, it has to be your own work, your own layout, your own structure. That is really, really important. Okay, so that is the task. That's a brief overview of the task. You should know a lot of this anyway, but it's here as a refresher, and that's essentially how we're marking it. So what we're looking at here is just these first sentences, okay, in the bands. They're for the first part. The top sentences are for the proposal you're writing up. The middle sentences are about doing the work, doing the 30 hours, and the final sentences are all about your evaluation presentation at the end. So that's where we would be looking to mark these, and they're then banded. We go from realistic to detailed and structured to comprehensive, well-structured and effective. So it's all about the level of detail and effort that you will put in that'll get you the good marks, okay? So once you've watched this and you're happy, you understand that, then move on to the next video where I'll walk you through the exemplar project and what we'll be looking at there. Okay, thank you very much.